So the lights can be divided into two types, hard light and soft light. The hard light can also be called as direct light, and the soft light can also be called as indirect or diffuse light. It is also dependent on the size. The hard light is in the size of the light emitting source is a small size, and the soft light is generally in big size. For example, this. So the sun, which appears to us small, is creating hard light, but the sky, which appears to us big as compared to the sun visually, is creating soft light, because you see the sun is very far from us. So if we were to place our earth just next to the sun, it will be like one speck on the sun. So what will happen is that the sun which is giving off light from all direction will create the effect of soft light, although it will be much harsh light, but the effect will be soft because the light will be coming from all direction. So this is the example of how they work. So the hard light comes from one direction. It is also directional light, direct light. It hits on a surface and it creates a hard shadow. And in this example, the soft light coming from all direction from above, and it creates a soft shadow. It does not create a hard shadow because unlike this one, the light is coming from here and here too. It's coming from all direction, so it cannot create a hard shadow, right? For the soft light, the sky and the clouds act as a light diffuser, which creates soft light. Because the sun produces hard light, it comes into the atmosphere and the clouds. Through that, it scatters and becomes the soft light. So in the studio, as a photographer, we use lamps which are small in size, and because they are small, they produce hard light. And in order to get the soft light effect, we put light diffuser in front of the lamp to give the effect of diffuse light. So using a diffuser in front of hard light, it will scatter the light just like this, making it a soft light. So the hard light is coming from one direction. It passes through this bumpy surface, which scatters the light rays, light particles into multiple direction, which creates this effect: soft highlight from above and soft shadow. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the examples for hard light and soft light, and maybe talk about both of them and what kind of effect both of them create. So the first example is this image, and we can see that this is a soft and diffuse lighting scenario where the light is coming from the top, and because of the clouds, the sunlight is being scattered all over, so it is not creating a hard and distinct shadow, and rather it is creating a very soft shadow, which is almost not noticeable unless you color pick the area. For example, if you take a sample from this area, it is like 39, but if you take a sample from this area, it is 28. So there is not huge difference. Like for example, if we take sample from here 43 and here 18, there is a huge difference. So So yeah, there is no distinct and hard shadow in the soft light and diffuse light condition. In this image, this is a hard light condition where the main key light is the sun, and there is a distinct and hard shadow. And you notice that as the shadow gets further away from the source of the shadow, it starts to blur the edges. This is a natural occurrence which happens when the sunlight hits the corner of the object and it gets diffused and it scatters a bit. So that's why it gets blurry at the edge of the shadow, in the end edges of the shadow. As you can see that the shadow is 21 value, and the brighter side is 45. These animals, these swan has its own value. Every object has its own local value, and when the light hits on them, everything behaves a little bit differently, right? So there are characteristics of light and there are characteristics of local material. So everything combines and creates a different mood. Also in this image, you can see that there is a hard light and it's creating a hard shadow. In this image, we can see that this is the soft light condition and these are the hard light conditions. In a soft light, again, the shadow is very soft and not very distinct. You cannot tell the exact shape of the shadow because the light is coming from almost everywhere. And here there is a hard shadow. So there is a huge difference between the soft lighting condition and the hard lighting condition, and there is a huge contrast. So we need to keep all of that in mind when we are creating an environment, and we are creating a type of mood that we have in our mind, and every kind of lighting condition evoke a different feeling. So we need to take care of that too.